What if I told you that one of the most promising American cars of the 1970s turned into one of the biggest automotive disasters ever made? A car that won Car of the Year, but quickly became known as the car that destroyed its own engine. This is the shocking story of the 1972 Chevrolet Vega, a car that started as America's answer to Japanese imports and ended up becoming a warning to the entire auto industry. By the late 1960s, something strange was happening in the American car market. Small Japanese cars were suddenly everywhere. Brands like Toyota, Datsun, and Honda were producing vehicles that were smaller, cheaper, and more fuel-efficient than anything Detroit was offering. Meanwhile, American automakers were still focused on big V8-powered muscle cars. And General Motors realized something important. If they didn't act fast, they could lose an entire generation of customers. So GM launched a secret development program called Project 71. The mission was simple: build a modern compact car that could compete with imports. That car would become the Chevrolet Vega. When the Vega launched in 1970, the reaction was incredible. The car had a modern design, lightweight construction, improved fuel economy. It looked different from traditional American cars: smaller, sportier, more European. And the excitement was so big that the Vega even won Motor Trend's Car of the Year award in 1971. At that moment, Chevrolet believed they had created the future of American compact cars. But behind the scenes, the engineering problems had already started. The Vega's biggest innovation was its engine. Instead of using the traditional cast iron engine block, Chevrolet introduced an aluminum engine block. This engine was called the 2.3-liter Dura-Build engine. On paper, it sounded revolutionary. Aluminum meant less weight, better fuel efficiency, modern engineering. But Chevrolet made one risky decision. Most aluminum engines use steel cylinder liners. The Vega didn't. Instead, Chevrolet used a special silicon-treated aluminum surface. The idea was advanced, but the execution was a disaster. The Vega's cooling system struggled to control engine temperatures. When the engine overheated, the aluminum cylinder heads could warp. And once that happened, the engine started burning oil. A lot of oil. Some Vega owners reported using a quart of oil every few hundred miles. Engines that should have lasted 100,000 miles sometimes failed before 50,000 miles. That's when people started calling it the car that eats its own engine. And the damage to the Vega's reputation had begun. Unfortunately, the engine problems weren't the only issue. The Vega also had serious rust problems. The body panels were thin. Rust protection was minimal. In snowy states where road salt was common, Vegas could start rusting within just a few years. Wheel arches, doors, even structural components. For many owners, the car simply didn't age well, and word began spreading quickly. But here's where the Vega story takes a surprising turn. Even though Chevrolet never officially offered a V8 Vega, some people decided to build one anyway. Because the Vega was lightweight, it became the perfect platform for engine swaps. Performance companies like Motion Performance and Scunchio Chevrolet started selling modified Vegas with V8 engines installed. These V8 Vegas were insane. Imagine a small, compact car with the power of a full muscle car. Some builds used small block Chevy V8 engines. Others used even bigger engines. The result? A tiny car with explosive acceleration. In fact, some V8 Vegas could embarrass traditional muscle cars at the drag strip. Despite the exciting performance builds, the standard Vega's reliability issues continued. Customer complaints increased. Dealerships were overwhelmed with warranty repairs, and the car's reputation continued to collapse. Sales dropped, and the Vega slowly became one of the most criticized cars of its era. Production eventually ended in 1977. What began as GM's bold answer to foreign competition ended as one of the most controversial cars in automotive history. But the Vega's story wasn't completely negative. The car forced American automakers to rethink their strategy. It showed that innovation must be tested properly. Quality control matters, and rushing a product to market can destroy even the best ideas. The Vega became a powerful lesson for the entire industry. Today, the Chevrolet Vega has become something unexpected, a strange mix of failure, innovation, and forgotten potential. But here's the part most people don't know. Some Vega models today are becoming rare collector cars, and a few of those legendary V8 Vegas are now worth far more than anyone expected. But that raises a bigger question. Was the Vega actually a bad car? Or was it simply an idea that arrived before its time? That answer might surprise you.